gon' make a miracle tonight. Every time our bodies collide, I forget the place or what time it is, 'cause you take over my mind. Stuck at home lockdown with my baby, some prison to paradise daily. From the kitchen table to the countertops, it's non-stop. 100 places we can do it. 100 roles that we can play. Name your fantasy bed. Drink, take a sip while I grind. Oh, grab my hips, hold on tight. Boy, feel free to distract me from everything. You're what I need. So I'm logging off the gram. I'm trying to see what your body's saying. Don't wanna hear the news. Just the sound of my lips kissing you. You're my beautiful distraction. Take my mind off it all. Damn, you're so beautiful. It's okay if we get in a fight. All I know is you gon' make it right. What you give is such an experience. Take me to outer space. So crazy, I'm out of my body. What day is it, Monday or Friday? Right now my focus is only you. Go ahead, touch me, it's safe. Take your mask off, show your face. My sweet escape, take your time. Nowhere to go, you're all mine. When the world gets so crazy, you're that one thing to rescue me. So I'm logging off the gram. I'm trying to see what your body's saying. Don't wanna hear the news. Just the sound of my lips kissing you. You're my beautiful distraction. Take my mind off it all. Damn, you're so beautiful. So I'm logging off the gram. I'm trying to see what your body's saying. Don't wanna hear the news. Just the sound of my lips kissing you. You're my
Right there.
I'm going to tell you.
Just making it happen for us. Shout out to Sophia for making that happen and bringing that song to us. Don't forget, if you like what's going on tonight, like, comment, share. Get it out to everybody out there that we're doing the radio show tonight. Everything's that keyword DA radio show. If you want to go ahead and follow us, or if you want to go ahead and spread the link out there, get as many people on as possible. So we can keep this thing here rolling, because we always looking to build those numbers up right here. We do have online, we got Joe Collins. He's running for the 43rd District against Maxine Waters here in the city of Los Angeles, coming up November the 3rd. So make sure you get out there and vote. Vote. Can't stress that.
Exercise your right.
That's right. Exercise your right to vote.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's right.
Yeah.
And for those who got questions, if you're listening, you got questions, a question for Joe Collins, call us at what, Gundy?
310-507-9017. Monique, let them know.
310-507-9017.
That's what I'm talking about. Speak now or forever hold your peace.
That's
Joe,
right. Go on, Monique.
how was growing up in a household of Democrats? Because I know your family is a Democratic party.
Yeah, well, my dad, he says he's already been a Republican, but him and my mom split up when they were younger. I just, we never really got into politics until I got into the military. And so I think for us, growing up in a house of a Democrat, we didn't really know why we were Democrats. We were just Democrats because somebody said that's what we were. And so I don't think political party preference ever played a real role in our family until I joined the military and became a Republican. And that's when everybody had so much stuff to say. And I thought it was cool. It gave me an opportunity to understand their outlook and actually get to know my family on a level that most people don't know their families. And I understand that, especially in Black families, when you start talking about politics, it all goes downhill from there.
Oh.
Yeah, but for me, I don't. It doesn't bother me. I like to hear people's opinions as long as you respect my opinion just as much I respect your opinion. Then I love the conversations. I love the debates. I love to hear what people think, because if it's a problem with one person or it's an issue with one person, it's an issue with a lot of people. So I guess it's, in my opinion, it's still pretty normal. It ain't worse than being in Iraq. So I'll take whatever.
Yeah,
So mostly, Joe, a lot of minorities, speaking for like blacks particularly, we worry about medical, the Obamacare. Donald Trump want to kill that, and all kinds of other things that, we feel that he's against black people's on. We know how much he don't like Hispanics. So he preached about that all the time. And I just want to know, for blacks only, I know kind of programs you want to interject into our system to help us, but to me, helping is not always way, what we need. We need to be educated how to work with one another as a group, and that's where I think black people fall short. So if you Congress, how will you try to straighten that among black peoples to work as a group?
Well, I'll tell you this from my perspective and from what I've been seeing. When it comes to programs like Obamacare, mind you, I'm a financial counselor. I'm an estate planner, and so I started off in the insurance industry. Like the getting people to get health insurance is absolutely incredible. I thought it was amazing. The part about the Affordable Care Act, which people call the Obamacare, that I did not like is the mandate enforced by a tax. Now that is unconstitutional, because the Constitution says that people have the right to live their life unencumbered by government interference. When you force people to get on a policy or get some type of benefit, you lose your rights, right? So the benefit being the Affordable Care Act. Now, President Obama did a really good job with crafting the Affordable Care Act. He did a bad job with enforcing it with the tax mandate. Now, that being said, what happens is when you force people to get on a certain product, that product being health insurance, healthcare, right? And you said, if you don't get on it, we're going to tax you a certain amount of money, $1,500 every single time that you have to file your taxes. Now you're forcing people to get something that they would not necessarily qualify for, they would not necessarily think about getting unless they have been forced to get it through a tax. Now, that's the part of the Affordable Care Act that they're trying to get rid of. The reason why it's so bad is because when you force somebody to get on a plan by taxing them, what you do is you close the market. When you close the market, everyone is forced to get on something that has the ability to skyrocket. And that's what happened. They forced everybody to get on it. They said, listen, if you don't get this Affordable Care Act, we're going to tax you on your tax returns. Nobody want to get taxed on their tax returns because a lot of people look forward to those tax returns for their livelihood or their expenses or their end of the year push for Christmas presents or their new clothes, new cars or whatever. When you force someone to get on something, especially in the insurance industry, it causes the price to rise. That was the worst part about it. So now you have people saying, well, I got healthcare, but I can't afford the healthcare. But if I don't get the healthcare, I'm going to have to pay. So you put yourself in a situation where you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. The Affordable Care Act was great. Creating an atmosphere where people can get quality healthcare insurance at a low price is great, but forcing people to get on it tells the insurance company, well, since everybody got to get on it, let me go ahead and just jack up the price. If you have pre-existing conditions, I'm going to jack up the price. If you have this, I'm going to jack up the price. And so that's one thing that I did not agree with. I want healthcare for everybody. If you don't make a lot of money and you need government assistance, by all means, it should be a healthcare plan given by the government that is affordable to you. If you want to keep your private healthcare, then by all means, you have an option to keep your private healthcare, right? Public-private partnership, that should be given to everybody, but forcing everybody to get on something that they don't necessarily want or need is kind of unconstitutional. It's kind of how we live our life right now. What the government says, you have to do this as a mandate. Well, the government can't tell you what to do because your rights are not given by the government, they're given by God. And they're protected by the Constitution. Another thing is when it comes to Hispanics, right? President Trump does not necessarily dislike Hispanics. What he dislikes is illegal immigration. So if we take the illegal immigration concept and we put it into theory, how we're living in Los Angeles itself, one of the biggest issues that the Black community has when it comes to the Latino community is that illegal immigrants are working in jobs that Black people are qualified to work. But because illegal immigrants are illegal, they will work for a lower price, which means they're going to push all the people who are qualified to work those jobs at the price given by the company. They're going to push them out. And so we're going to end up jobless because of illegal immigrants. Now, let's take that into a further concept, right? Gavin Newsom took $150 million of your taxpayers' money, the taxpayers' money of the people who are listening, and they give a stimulus check to people who are not supposed to be here, illegal immigrants, right? Meanwhile, we're struggling. Our businesses are struggling. My grandmother, she's absolutely struggling because she's on retirement. And we have gained nothing from the state of California with our own tax money. Why are we not getting that money back? Our small businesses are failing because they're not taking our tax money that we've paid from our small businesses and giving it back to us in a time that we desperately need it. Also, let's look at the housing situation. 60% of the homeless are Black. On any given night, we have 55,000 people sleeping on the streets. 60% of those people is Black. So out of 55,000 people that are sleeping on the streets, roughly about 33,000 people are Black. Illegal immigrants are given housing if they have a kid. Our Black people are not given anything, no matter if they have kids, because we have entire homeless families on the streets right now, sleeping in RVs, trying to make ends meet. And it's not that they have mental illnesses. They can't afford the cost of living in California. So with California being a sanctuary state, illegal immigration, not legal immigration, illegal immigration, and not just with Hispanics, everybody at the border is a problem for you. It's a problem for me. It's a problem for everybody in the Los Angeles economy. And we have Asians at the borders. We have Africans at the borders. We have Latinos, Hispanics, people from Nicaragua, South Americans at our borders. So we can't forget those people. So illegal immigration is a problem in itself. And so these are the issues that we're constantly combating on a regular basis. But, let the, MSNBC or CNN tell it, it's only a problem for one side because they want to try to fit a narrative that makes, the president of the United States look bad. Mind you, I don't really care about the narrative that they push because my goal is to improve the quality of life for people who are here in our communities.
Okay. Now, Joe, also another issue that will be coming up is that eventually one day this pandemic will end. And we'll get to some type of normalcy. My thing is right now, as you know, there are millions of people that have lost their jobs. There are millions of people that are on the verge of being homeless because they can't afford to pay their mortgage. So, and if you're elected, what will you do about that right there? Because that's going to be a really, really big thing once this pandemic is over and once the mortgage companies stop. Giving people time and allowing them to coexist in their homes in this while this pandemic's going on. So what are you going to do about that if you're elected and if you win?
You know what? That's a really good question. And that's a question that I've never had anyone ask me before. But hindsight, looking forward, one of the biggest issues that we have right now in our community is gentrification. Right? They just built a stadium for the Rams. They're going to build a new stadium for the Clippers. Right. They're increasing the cost of living. Nobody is attacking California to lower the cost of living, lower the cost of development, remove a lot of restrictions when it comes to development. So developers are taking the cost of development and they're handing it down to the people who are going to be purchasing these properties. They're handing the cost of living down to the people who are going to be living in the condos or living into the new housing developments that are going to be developed. And that's a problem for us. The reason why it's a problem for us is because through this development, and, I have a lot of props from Mayor Butts, but one thing that he messed up on was they are not bringing quality jobs back into our communities for us to be able to work, right? With the stadium, we're getting the same basic jobs that we've been getting. So nobody is expanding the job market for us. Nobody expanding the career market for us, right? They took trades and STEMs out of our schools, where we have a 77% graduation rate from high school, 22% graduation rate from college. So what are these kids doing when they graduate high school if they can't graduate college? They're getting right back into the streets, and now we're in the same hamster wheel. So one thing that I would do is through opportunity zones, right? And the president did sign this into law. This is one of the biggest things that I love through opportunity zones, we can incentivize major corporations, major companies to come back into the South Los Angeles area and start hiring people who are from our communities. But the problem that we have with opportunity